If you are wearing foot orthotics in an attempt to fix your plantar fasciitis, you are sabotaging your recovery. In this video, I'll explain why wearing a foot orthotic is one of the biggest roadblocks in resolving PF. Also, towards the end of the video, I'll share 3 strategies to help you fix your PF. I'm Dr. Angela, and I'm the Plantar Fasciitis Doc, and I'm all about helping you resolve PF at home. Now, let's get into it. Wearing an orthotic is typically one of the first recommendations patients are given to correct plantar fasciitis. Unfortunately, using an orthotic long-term weakens your feet and worsens your PF. Let me explain. Our feet are inherently strong and do not need this type of support long-term. When you support and lift your arches in this way, you are not allowing your feet to function as they should. Orthotics are designed to lift and prop up your arch and reduce tension on the plantar fascia. And I believe having this type of support in the early phase or acute phase of PF can be helpful. However, wearing them beyond that is detrimental to your recovery. Orthotics deny our feet the opportunity to work, and your foot muscles get lazy. The muscles of our feet can begin to atrophy and not function as they were designed. You may be thinking, but my doctor prescribed these orthotics. Why would they recommend them if they aren't helpful? Giving your feet support to help manage your symptoms initially isn't damaging, but beyond the acute phase, it can be. The reason most practitioners prescribe foot orthosis so often is because early research suggested that plantar fasciitis resulted from excessive foot pronation. So the vast majority of PF patients were giving foot orthotics to limit pronation. However, newer research shows us that pronation doesn't need correcting, and the amount of pronation does not determine the presence of PF. How many of you have been wearing orthotics and you still have PF? Put your answer in the comment. I'm just curious. And post how long you've been wearing them. Here's a good analogy. A practitioner would never put a cast on a broken arm and recommend that you wear them for the rest of your life. Once the tissues and bones have healed, you remove the cast and begin to strengthen the muscles that have been immobilized with bracing. However, with foot orthotics, there is a neglect to implement an expiration date. Using an external device like an orthotic is a temporary solution and doesn't address the underlying cause. Is this making sense? This also applies to shoes that have built-in arch supports or anti-pronation technology like Hoka's, Brooks, or New Balance. Shoes that have motion control and corrective technologies will also weaken your foot and can lead to exactly the thing that you're trying to correct. The less technology a shoe has, the better it is for your foot. The more a shoe externally supports your feet, the less internal strength the feet develop. This type of outdated and misguided information is why I created my program. It became obvious that PF sufferers needed more options than what most practitioners were offering. I have a free guide with a complete roadmap for you to resolve your PF at home. Put the word guide in the comments and I will send you a copy of that. I also have patients that say, but I have flat feet or I have high arches. Don't I need arch support? Actually, no. Many people are told that their flat feet or high arches are unnatural and will eventually cause problems. Some people have high arches and some people have low arches, but both are fully capable of being perfectly functional. Having these presentations does not mean a higher risk of injury or unhealthy feet. Our focus should be on the strength of our arches, not their appearance. Now, there are some extreme cases of very flat feet or very high arches, but those are rare. The majority are able to function normally. What we are looking for in healthy feet is the ability to both be mobile and stable and to absorb shock and propel forward. And even flat feet and high arches are completely able to fulfill these roles. Many studies have been performed, and they all show that there is no correlation to the height of the arch and the presence of plantar fasciitis. It's the strength or lack of strength of the intrinsic muscles of the feet that determine the health of your feet. The good news is that the arches in your feet are just like any other muscles in the body and can be strengthened and trained over time. I mentioned earlier that I wanted to share 3 strategies to help correct your PF and strengthen your feet. Number 1 is to wear wide toe box shoes or foot-shaped shoes that are widest at the toe and 0 drop. No elevation of the heel. The majority of conventional footwear has toe boxes that squeeze your toes together and elevates the heel above the forefoot. This combination of damaging features begins to alter the shape of your foot over time and weakens our foot core. It turns out that most everybody has a weak foot core, and it's almost entirely due to the compression of our feet and toes from wearing footwear that tapers at the toe. To function optimally, the foot and toes should spread and splay wide at the forefoot. If this action is interrupted, our feet get weak, and this leads to PF. We want a shoe that is widest at the toe to encourage natural toe splay and spreading of the toes. These are a couple of examples of foot-shaped shoes: Ultras, Limbs, and Flux footwear. I have an approved shoe list that includes the shoes that I approve and recommend for PF. Put the word shoes in the comments and I will get you a copy of that. The second strategy is to walk barefoot with toe spacers. I'm sure most of you have heard to never walk barefoot if you have plantar fasciitis, but barefoot walking is one of the healthiest things you can do for your feet, and it naturally strengthens your foot core. If you are in the acute phase of PF where you're in a lot of pain, it can be painful to even think about walking barefoot, but the benefits are numerous. It takes time to train your feet to enjoy barefoot walking. You'll need to slowly begin to introduce your feet to this new concept. Barefoot walking allows your feet and toes the freedom to spread and splay and begin to activate and recruit your weak foot muscles. Adding toe spacers helps to stretch and realign your toes and helps to encourage natural arch support. They also help to broaden the base of your foot to improve balance. I believe toe spacers are one of the most powerful tools for restoring optimal foot health. When the toes lay in alignment with the metatarsals, the foot functions better. Begin walking barefoot with toe spacers using a progressive time frame. Start with only 10 minutes a day and increase slowly. Third strategy is to practice splaying your toes. Spread your toes as wide as you can and hold the position for 5 seconds. Perform 10 repetitions. I have more exercises to help strengthen your foot core and correct your PF. I shot a video that has the 3 most important exercises to perform to correct your PF. Watch this video next. I'll see you there.